All right, everybody, welcome out to the Lager Room. It is Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020. Jersey Johnny coming at you, and with me, as always, is Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Hey, guys, happy National Mutt Day.
It is National Mutt Day today, is it not?
And you and I are both mutts.
Oh,
I'm a much bigger mutt than you, though.
You are a much bigger mutt than me. A much bigger mutt than me. And why don't we, speaking of somebody that's not even anywhere near as big a mutt as either of us are, why don't we bring in our guest drinker today?
Is your hat going to give away who it is?
My hat might give away who it is, but if you haven't guessed already, or if you haven't read anything that I've put online in the last couple of days, let's welcome to the show Chuck from Jersey Girl Brewing, Mr. Chuck Aaron. How are you, sir?
Guys, good. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, Chuck.
I'm doing
Thanks
great.
for having me.
Yourself? Oh, anytime, please.
Yeah.
We are happy to have you.
Very.
So,
You're behind the scenes tonight. This is
Yes.
my
With the office?
Yeah, this is crappy office. All the box swag over here and awesome Seton Hall over here.
There you
handmade Jersey Girl stuff.
that's where it all happens, right?
Is that where you got more? Is that where you got more of those hats stashed away?
I do. They're on the shelf up there for sure.
There you go. Where's
Ready
the
for Christmas.
where's all the Mount Olive stuff?
Yeah, God, I tell you, man, I'm living high on Mount Olive right now. We just took the division championship, so
That's great.
yeah, my kid just got named to the conference team as tight end.
That's
so
great.
the first all
Very
conference.
nice.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Congratulations on that.
During COVID, I thought we weren't going to have a football season, and
Turned out to be a really
kids
good
wound
one.
up having a great season.
There you go.
Awesome.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah. All that aside, a lot of halftime, fun and festivities with craft beer and things like that.
It's always a good
Way to do
thing. That's always a good thing. Why don't we jump into our first beers while we're all BSing here? Let's get drinking instead of
Sure.
waiting and wait. Dave, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, since you're drinking local, sort of. Well, local to where I used to live. I used to live in Morris Plains, so not too far. But I'm going local from here.
Right.
Smug Brewery's Short and Stout. This is something that that they've done in the past a few times, and they haven't done it in a while, so they re-released it. It's a vanilla chai stout.
Vanilla chai stout. Is that? I'm going to take a guess and say it's like 7%.
It is 7 point something. I think that's a 9. Oh my god.
It's actually a 0. I looked at it before. That's why.
Is it a 0? Thank God. I don't have my cheaters with me right now. They're on the other side of the table, and I'm afraid you're going to get too much of a look up my nostrils if I reach for them.
Because all three of us on this podcast right now are all in our 30s, so we definitely need cheaters.
Oh,
Yeah.
30s.
Yes.
30s, give or take a few.
30's the new 50, or 50's the new 30, I should say.
And this is the Smug Brewing second anniversary Teku.
Yeah, I love the color on that, huh?
Very nice.
Oh, this beer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. All right, well, I'm going to open mine while you take a sip of yours.
Please do.
I'll be drinking Jersey Girl Black Diamond.
Oh, look at that.
Where'd you get that?
I got this at some brewery in Hackettstown.
Hackettstown. You told me it was in Mount Olive.
It's on the.
It's always the competition. It's the battle. We're actually in Mount Olive with a Hackettstown mailing address, so we get the best of both worlds.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go.
And that beer, I looked up, went on Untapped and looked up all the Jersey Girl brews because I had forgotten the name of my favorite Jersey Girl beer, King Gambrinus. I don't know how the heck I could forget that.
How could you forget the King?
Yes, but I noticed that what you're drinking is their highest rated beer at 4.1, which is an impressive average on Untapped.
Yeah.
It's either that or only your family has drank it.
I tell you,
And John.
We decided to do a
Right.
black lager. I'm a big fan of lagers. So between ales and lagers, I'll go to the lagers first, and that's our first foray into the Schwartz beer kind of world. And we decided to can it. Our brewer Mark came up with the recipe, and I got to tell you, it is lights out for a 4.1% beer. It has got a lot of character and flavor to it for a nice dark lager.
I'm a huge Schwartz beer fan, and this is a really, really, really tasty one.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. My family does. We do revolve around the Schwartz beers.
There you go.
Yes, you do.
Fun little fact is I named that beer the night after I came back from a Kiss concert. I have this habit of naming beers after concerts I go to, and I had gotten home that night. It was in the tank. We were pushing for a name on the beer, and we I said, dude, we're going to name it Black Diamond.
I thought it was a skiing reference.
No, it could be, but no, it's a Total Kiss reference there.
That's awesome. I actually thought it was a skiing reference all along too. Myself.
What are you drinking there, Chuck? Come on, you're gonna drink with.
I've actually got a King Gambrinus now. I did something a little different than you guys. I already poured, so mine's been kind of in the glass for a little while now.
There you go.
The color.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Enjoy.
I remember, what was it, Beer Bacon Barbecue? You guys won People's Choice with the Bordeaux barrel-aged version of it.
Yeah, we've won. I think we've won 2 awards. That's the JMK. That's Allison's events.
Yep.
We took People's Choice Awards for the King Gambrinus the first time, and then the wine barrel aged the second time. So King Gambrinus has actually won us two People's Choice Awards at that event, and I love this beer. I got to tell you, for a 10% beer, it drinks like
it drinks like a 6.
Yeah, it drinks like a 6, probably 5. Real fruity.
I would have said 5. I would have. It's
5.
Yeah. I'm going with 6.
And after your second or third one, you realize, wow, that's 10% beer.
Try to stand
How many
up.
did I actually have?
Yeah, that's exactly it. We've had people come in and we've had to cut them off because they keep drinking them. We serve them in the 10-ounce, the 10-ounce tulips like this, and people down 3 of them thinking it's a light beer, and we're like, hey guys, you got to take a break, have some water, relax for a minute, and they're like, what are you talking about? I'm fine. And then 30 seconds later, like, whoa, the world catches up with them, and it's
absolutely.
Well, there's that always. You get people who aren't so used to craft beer think that if it's light in color, it's light in ABV, and if it's dark in color, it's going to be high in ABV.
Yeah.
And they can, and oh man, sometimes they're just so wrong.
There's an association. I think people believe that high alcohol beers, like a 10% beer, should have a burn to it. And I completely disagree with that. I think you can make some 10, 11, 12% beers that are super smooth, super easy to drink, light, refreshing, can have some fruity characteristics to them, malt forward, without being boozy or have that burn to them.
Sure.
I think people miss out. There's a lot of consumer misconception about that, and they miss out on some really great triples, quads that are out of the market today that are just fun to drink.
For a while there, was really hard to find a triple that was not hot and boozy.
Yeah,
that was drinkable. But it's getting better.
Golden Monkey.
I think I actually dated her in high school.
Who's that?
Hot and boozy.
Hot and boozy. She's very popular.
I've heard these stories.
But there's a couple that we love drinking, and I just think I'm happy we did it. We did it a while back. We did it early. I think it was like our 3rd beer that we put into the flagship series, and I'm glad we did that. We were told it would never work in distribution at 10%, but
I disagree with that.
Yeah,
I agree,
and I'm sure your numbers are disagreeing with it too.
Exactly.
As popular as that beer is,
it's one of your best sellers. You said, right?
It's up there. Yeah, it's number 3. It's number 3 of all of our flagships. Yeah.
And Rake Breaker is number 1.
Oh yeah, Rake Breaker. Well, it depends on the season. They're pretty much equal. Rake Breaker and Sunkissed Citra will usually go neck and neck. And in the summertime, Sunkissed Citra does exceptionally well, and then the fall and winter, Rake Breaker does exceptionally well. So I think it's just the seasonality of the grapefruit flavor versus the nectarine that does really well in the market.
Nice. Yeah, well, they're all great beers, and you've done some variants on the King too, right? The King Gambrinus.
Well, yeah, I mean, the original variant was Queen Gambrinus. So Queen Gambrinus was mango, watermelon, and watermelon and pineapple puree blended into the bright tank, and we put it in there. And man, it flew, but it was so complicated as a process to create the puree and freeze it and then put it in. So we did a couple of sours with it. We've done some wine barrel aging with it. So our sour is called Suicide King, and the Suicide King it's a Brettanomyces sour, and we barrel age that, and God, that thing it's like drinking juice, man.
I have a bottle of it downstairs, so I'm waiting.
There you go.
You gotta wait for me to get back to Jersey.
I'll wait for you to get back to
one.
Jersey. There you go.
You got to get the Funky King. That's a really cool one. That's a nice sour version that we released as a bottle, and we do some with we fruit them up. Sometimes we'll put a little mango puree in there. We'll do a little blood orange puree.
Nice.
They're fun. It's just fun to play with that beer. It's just every time we do something different with it, it's just even more exciting in the market. So
that's great.
People love it.
It's great to do that. So Black Diamond, you said Mark Brewer came up with that recipe.
He did. You know, one of the fun things about having Mark on board is
I've known Mark for years. Is what I said. So.
What's that?
I said I've known Mark for years. So.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm not speaking out of school here when I say he's a great brewer.
Oh yeah.
And my challenge to him when he came on board was, Mark, I want to do more seasonals. I want to have our flagships in the market. I want to do one seasonal. So every other month, we call it a seasonal, but every other month I want him to come up with a new beer. Schwartz beer is just one of the many. Pocket Aces is another one. And Get the Irons. I mean, these are beers that we put out on the market. Do extremely well. Does some really nice, exceptionally well on the lagers for sure.
Yeah, they're really, 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 really tasty.
Oh yeah,
I'm enjoying them. So, how's your stout there,
Oh,
Mr. Samurai?
there is.
I'm now enjoying the conversation. It's
Like, oh, hell, what? I'm sorry.
What am I doing?
Was I drinking something? What the?
It would taste like a vanilla chai samurai. Vanilla chai. Now you got me all.
No, you are a vanilla chai samurai. Right now, so.
Well, hey, we said we wouldn't talk about that on air.
I know. I'm sorry. I lost my mind.
But it tastes like a vanilla chai stout should taste. It's I was curious to see how the tea would work in it.
Right.
Because I've been drinking a lot of coffee stouts because 'tis the season for coffee stouts. Getting a lot of those out right now.
'Tis the season.
Oh yes. Oh, foreshadowing. So this is a nice departure, having the tea and stout, and you've got the vanilla in there, of course. I'm enjoying this. I'm glad I may have to get another 4-pack of this.
You might need to get 2 4-packs of that.
One for friend.
And Mel one.
I'm putting a box together as
care package.
Care package, absolutely. I got a bunch for you too. So.
Hey Chuck. You were talking earlier about how you have a Hackettstown address, but you're physically in Mount Olive. Sure. And John and I were talking a couple days ago about the area that you're in, right?
Yeah.
You've got, a couple breweries out in Hackettstown. You got a couple out in Long Valley, right? You got Manskirt up there. You got Zigmeister down in Long Valley, this Long Valley Brew Pub, and
Chilton Mill.
Yep, Chilton Mill. Yeah. And then, not too far off is Angry Eric.
Not far at all, actually.
Nope. So with this area being, not all that densely populated, you're sharing a market with the rest of these breweries. And, I've always been curious when you see this about a few things. One is what's the saturation point? That's one. But then the other one is, does it turn into competition, collaboration, a combination of both?
It's a great question. So Joe and Matt and I talk almost all the time because we are so close. We used to go out before we even opened up the brewery. We used to go out and drink together before any of us had opened up. Joe was the first to open, then I opened up, and then Zigmeister opened up.
And I can attest to this because I've seen the three of them sitting together and drinking, and I think at Zig's Brewery at one point.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Go through stuff.
We enjoy getting together and talking about beer. We don't get together as much as we used to, that's for sure. I think with everything with COVID going on.
Right.
Matt was over here probably about a month ago, and we probably spent a good 3 hours just having some solid drinks. The guys down at Chilton Mill are close. I know the owners of Long Valley Brew Pub. Of course, I know Heidi and Eric over at Angry Eric's very well. And then the next one is Fort Nonsense is really close.
That was
Fort Nonsense.
Yeah, right down 10, right?
Yeah.
For those of our listeners, Joe and Matt are Joe from Mansker and Matt from Zigmeister.
From Zigmeister, right? Yeah. And Matt and I sit on a board together for the local area chamber of commerce. So
cool.
I see Matt at least once a month via Zoom for our morning meetings, like this morning. But
via Zoom,
I think we've never been able to lock down a collaboration. Beer, we throw around some names and some ideas, but I think it was all at a point where we were getting started up and we were ramping up our businesses and getting our plans moving. And we always had some kind of outside influence to that. I think it's still hopefully something in the backs of our pockets that we could pull out one day and do. I think we're all hitting our 5-year Joe had his in October. We're having ours in April, and then Zig's going to follow in June.
Yeah.
So it's great that we've been doing this for 5 years now, open. And I know we each had our own struggles opening up. So I think we can always commiserate in that respect, that we kind of went through the same process at the same time.
That's the C I forgot about: competition, collaboration, and commiseration.
Commiseration.
When I say collaboration, I'm not necessarily talking about collaborating on a beer, but also collaborating on, how to tap into the market, how to distribute and all that.
I think we're all different. It's the beauty of what we do, and it makes it fun for consumers. I think that it's the best part about coming to the area is you get truly 3 different beer experiences.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of crossover in styles, but our styles are even different. Within the style, you're going to find a different flavor at each of the breweries. So you can make a trip, and people will drive from far. I mean, some of them from New York and out of state, definitely, to come.
Sometimes people drive up from the shore to go to your brewery. So.
That is true. I've seen that happen before. But they come and they're like, they came because they know they can hit 3 breweries. And now, if you think about it, almost 6 or 7 breweries in one trip, and really make a day out of it. It's become a nice little destination. And we've always found it's easier, rather than being competitive, it's easier to work together in that respect, because with destination, people will hit not one brewery, but all 3 across the board. And I think that benefits all of us. And inevitably somebody's going to wind up, being hated, and it could be us one day. It's going to be Joe. It's going to be Matt, or they love us all. It's hard to say, but they certainly always walk away with, wow, so much difference in such a small area. We're literally Matt and Joe, Zig and Manskirt are only probably a block away.
Yeah, they're right around the corner from each other.
We're probably about 1.5 miles away from both of them.
Well, speaking for the lager room, and I will be audacious enough to speak for both of us, Johnny. We love all 3 of you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I think that's what's fun about it. I'll be honest. I love hanging out with those guys. Before we opened up, we'd talk beer. We'd go down to the tap house over in Hackettstown and have dinner and have a few beers or one of the local places. And we always when we get together, try to share beers, because I found as a brewery owner now, it's very hard to have other people's beers unless somebody brings them, because I'm always working. Right. So sometimes, at least once every couple of months, I try to pick a day and just say, that's it. I'm not, like on a Saturday, I'm out. I'm going to go brewery hopping, and I'll go pick a region, and I'll hop around, 7 or 8 breweries in a day and try to have some fun. But
doing exactly what you hope people do to your area, right?
That's exactly right. And it's fun to see the other breweries too. I mean, I know most, not all, just from being on the board for the New Jersey Brewers Association for a few years. You get to meet them through conversations and meetings, and they're great people. There's a lot of great beer going on in New Jersey, that some of it hidden, some of it, not in distribution. You have to actually go to the brewery and find it, which is a great part of it. Mm-hmm. Other beers you can pick up now. A lot of liquor stores are putting Jersey cabinets in, so you can see a whole cabinet of Jersey beers.
Absolutely.
Well,
a lot of stores will have 2. Well, the bigger stores anyway. They'll have 2 or 3 big
doors.
sections.
Pop them open, and
all just Jersey beers, top to bottom.
Yep.
So.
And beer festivals are another place where I see a lot of networking going on between the brewers.
It's that moment where we're not all working, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a social
place. It's work, but it's fun.
Before they let the people in.
Yeah,
exactly.
And John and I've worked a bunch of festivals together. I love going to festivals as an owner, because I love that reaction you get from somebody. You get it here in the sample room, but you get it over a weekend, and there's a lot of crazy things going on. But when you're at a festival behind a booth pouring from a box, you've got that immediate, that person picks up the glass and they do this, and you get the facial response, and then when the back turns, you get the honest response, right?
If you see the taster poured into the garbage can as they walk away, right?
You watch them as they're walking, you're going, are they going to drink it, or is it a ground dump? They're going to just dump it in the ground. I miss the festivals, I'll be honest with you.
I really
so do I.
I agree. It's the fun. It's the, how are you guys doing? What's new? What are you brewing? What are you doing? And you get to taste a lot of beer in one day, which is awesome without having to travel too far.
And I miss the brewers' side time too. Bring some extra bottles from the brewery or whatever, and then between sessions or post or pre-session or whatever.
Halftime
hey,
show.
Taste this.
That halftime at the Morristown Armory is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
What was that one in Jersey City that you had? You gave me. So it was a barrel aged stout, I believe.
Oh, that was Wake Up and Smell the Coffee.
It was barrel aged.
It was barrel aged. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Barrel aged. It's Wake Up and Smell the Coffee. It's a porter. It's actually in the tanks right now. It's a 10%. It's got Kona coffee in it, and it's got chocolate in it. This year we doubled the coffee, we doubled the chocolate.
Nice.
To really bring that flavor out. We started canning that actually last year. We put it into distribution now, so that's coming out. If we can get cans, we'll put it out in January. Cans is a new thing. Canning.
Oh yeah.
You can't get cans anywhere.
Well, Anheuser-Busch can get cans, but everybody else is.
And they're not going to be as magnanimous as Sam Adams was when there was a hop shortage.
No.
Right. No, I don't think so. I don't think this is. They say the can shortage is. It's going to take years before we get out of this because it's well, especially with COVID. I mean, everything went to cans. Yep. We stopped selling kegs. I mean, we sell kegs here and there, but not anywhere near what we do in cans. So we're lucky we bought a candy machine this year. I had ordered it last November. It came in April. We put it together and started running it in April, and thank God we did because
it's a beautiful machine. I saw it like right after you.
Oh, thanks.
You got
it's a nice Cody. It's a Cody counter pressure filler, and there aren't a lot of counter pressure fillers in New Jersey. I think the only other one I know of is Bolero Snort has one. They have the same machine we do, and they're gorgeous machines. You talk about low dissolved oxygen levels, great fills, consistent fills, fast, repeatable, not a lot of waste.
That counter pressure is big when it comes to canning. Huge.
It's huge. I didn't realize we did atmospheric filling with the Wild Goose line through Ironheart Canning when they were doing our stuff. Mm-hmm. And, there was always an inevitable amount of waste just from that in and out of the filler. And now with the counter pressure, I mean, it's a little bit of foam overspray and everything else goes in the can. It's great. Nice. Really solid piece of equipment. So we're getting our dollars worth on that.
Great. Congrats on that. That's great.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. It's a work of art. When you guys are in the area, John, you've already seen it, but Dave, if you ever come down, stop in on like a canning day, I'll let you guys know. And man, it's fun to watch that thing go.
Yeah, I've got to get down. I am so missing Taylor pork roll, egg and cheese.
Look at him. Look. See what he just did. He put Taylor and pork roll in the same, so he covered his bases for the whole state.
We don't want hate mail. We don't want letters.
It's Taylor ham, egg and cheese.
There you go. And everybody listening in Rhode Island was like, "What the hell's he talking about?"
God, I miss it.
That is the breakfast of champions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The artery clogger.
It is. Totally is.
Speaking of, we've been talking about beer news, if you will.
I see the crawl on the bottom you got going here, too.
Yeah, I just put out just for the segment,
That's pretty.
Something Dave and I were talking about before. Get your take on it. These new, I don't want to say chains, but national chains, if you will, coming out with beers, but obviously having other breweries brew them for them. Trader Joe's just released cookie butter beer. I think Hardywood in Virginia is brewing it for them. It's I'm looking at it right now.
Are you talking like the Wawa beers?
Hardywood
is making a beer for Trader Joe's. It's called cookie butter beer.
I'm just now calculating where the hell my local Trader Joe's is that carries beer.
It says according to their this one blog, it says tastes like Christmas in a bottle. It says.
There you go.
That should be interesting.
All Christmas cookies, huh?
Exactly.
Leave that for Santa this year. You may need it.
Along those lines too, Waffle House has a beer now too. It's a bacon flavored beer.
Like a Roush beer?
I guess it's. I'm guessing. I know. I just opened it up here.
Huh.
It smells like Waffle House is getting an official beer, and it smells like bacon. That's what it says right there. But I'm trying to scroll through. Oh, here, Oconee Brewing Company. Oconee. I've never heard of them before. They're in Greensboro, Georgia. They're brewing the beer for them. But along those lines too, you have Harpoon teamed up with Dunkin'. And a couple of beers.
Those are huge up here.
Yeah. Gee, I wonder why.
because Duncan just rules here.
And so does Harpoon, though. So,
up here, you give directions by Duncan. Okay, go past 3 Duncans, make a right.
All right.
They're all over, huh?
Absolutely.
Oh, it's ridiculous up here.
And then you got the Yingling every year with the Hershey's chocolate porter too. So
I still haven't had that.
That's pretty new, right? That's relatively new.
2 or 3 years. Right? This is the second.
At
least the second. It's at least 2, if no more than 3 though.
I haven't tried it yet. I'm anxious.
Neither have I.
I haven't either.
It comes and it goes so quickly. People jump on it.
I couldn't find it at all. I looked for last year, couldn't find it. I looked for this year, couldn't find it. I did, however, speak to my daughter's boyfriend who works at Bottle King in up in Ramsey, and he did get a 6-pack, and he drank 5 of them, and he has 1 of them left. He's saving it for me, so there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
They'll flood the market soon, and then there'll be like tons of it on the shelves.
And it'll be everything, yeah, exactly, right. But yeah, so what's your take on this? Like, well, not so much obviously the Hershey's and the Dunkin'. I mean, that's just a branding with the company. But Waffle House, Trader Joe's, they're getting their own beers from these.
Let's rephrase the question. Considering where your brewery's located, what if M&M Mars comes to you and wants to make a peanut M&M beer?
There you go.
We've tried to talk to him about it.
Yeah,
don't think we have. It's hard
pull
to
it out.
And you can do the caramel M&M, the pretzel M&M. You can do all the flavors of M&Ms.
They don't do that.
You've got a whole line.
They don't do that. I wish they would, because it would be a great part of our wake up and smell the coffee.
Oh, that'd be great.
Chocolate, put their chocolate into it. But yeah, you know what? I think things
or just a Marley's Tavernale. You can do that.
Yeah, Marley's Tavernale. We do that. We do private label beers. If you go to Alice's or Windlass over on the lake, if you go to OMG Burger, which is right down the street, if you go down to the Rockaway Diner, we do their private label beers.
Rockaway Diner has a private label beer you do for them?
Yep.
Yeah, you saw my face. Like, what?
That's great.
You know what? They're friends from church, and they're great. So
there you go.
You know, it's a fun thing. They're just a great restaurant. In addition to being a diner, they're just a great place to go as a family.
The Rockaway Diner is really good. I definitely.
Oh yeah,
they're spectacular. Yeah, and what better place to talk about beer than at church?
We did a Kolsch for Applebee's. I don't know if you remember when we first opened up. We had 30 North Jersey Applebee's that were selling. It was kind of a Wizard of Oz themed. It was a naming contest and stuff, but it was a Jersey Girl beer that they were promoting as their house Kolsch, and we did that for probably a year with them. And it was a great opportunity for us. It helped us pay for 260 barrel fermenters out back. So
that's great.
I'm still wrapping. I'm trying to wrap my mind around the term house Kolsch.
House Kolsch. Hey,
yeah, that's you don't hear
have
every
a house
day, right?
Anything you want. I mean,
yeah, I know, but a house IPA, a house lager, but a house Kolsch.
Kolsch is a great beer.
Oh, I love Kolsch.
I love a good Kolsch.
Kolsch is
lovely to hear that.
Of the lighter beers that go to, sessionable, I mean, other than session IPAs or whatever, because I'm a big IPA head.
Yeah.
But of the lighter beers like the Pils and stuff like that, I'm a big Kolsch guy.
Oh, love them.
You can't go wrong with it. I mean, you can't go wrong with it.
Yeah, I've had some that have gone wrong.
Yeah, in most cases, you're not going to go too wrong. But we did that. I think it's just, I was going to say this earlier. I think when we opened up 5 years ago, there were things in the beer world that were taboo. New Jersey was a very small market. We were probably in the 20s or early 30s of the number of breweries opening up in New Jersey. I think now there's
123.
And things we talked about back then were, hey, let's put fruit in this, or let's do this and that. It's like, no, don't touch that style. It's got to be pure. And you watch what breweries are doing over time now, and they're getting creative with their styles. And I think Bolero kind of blew the doors off of anything and everything you could do with a beer.
Are they creative?
Or is that?
I don't know.
Is that a true statement there, Chuck?
Goes in a can. It's good. But they're good. They're unusually good. I mean, I'm not one that can, that can name all the beers, but there are people out there that can name like every Bolero snort variant that's been out there.
How's that even possible?
I don't know.
I mean, obviously, my proximity to Bolero's brewery right now kind of hinders me from getting there. I'm all the way down in Monmouth County, but
we'll talk to Brian.
But but I was just going to say that I mean, I've known Bob. I was drinking Bob's beers when he was brewing them in his garage.
Okay.
But
way back.
Way back. But what's odd is that since he opened, my daughter and her boyfriend have been to the brewery. Both of my daughters and my one daughter's boyfriend have been to the brewery more than I have. Probably multiple times more than I have.
I may have been there more than you have, John.
No. You have not been there more than me.
But it's a great facility. But I think things are taboo. Again, it's creativity now. There's a lot of we still like to hold on to being stylistically correct. And if we're going to do a Pilsner, it's going to be a Pilsner. We're, always looking to improve and modify that recipe to get closer and closer to being stylistically correct. Mm-hmm. But if we do something like Elder Magic, which is a Hefeweizen with elderberry and lemon in it.
Such a good beer.
What's that?
Such a crazy good beer.
I love that good beer. Man. People are like burning torches and pitchforks outside to get us to brew that again.
Didn't I get a case of it from you? Like when I was up there?
Yeah. People would come in and order cases of Crowlers when we had it on tap only, and walk out with a case full of Crowlers. And I was like, wow, that's love for a beer. So I wouldn't have even thought of brewing a beer like touching a Hefeweizen with elderberry and lemon 5 years ago would have been, I'd be, as a brewery owner, my head on the chopping block. Now, I think people are starting to realize beer can be, accurate, so to speak, stylistically, but it could be fun. It could be creative. You can, like, you're having a beer with tea and it's good, right? You're enjoying it. But who would have thought it? A lot of the English porters and stuff like that.
Sure.
You go to England with a beer like that, I'm not sure what would happen still. But
the camera police would chase you right out of the country, right?
Take you with their little batons in their hat.
Stop.
Quick aside, tying those a couple of conversations together there. I believe the first time I actually ever had Elder Magic, I don't think it was Elder Magic at the time, because you had done the hef before you made it, the elderberry and with the lemon, right?
We did, we did just a straight up Hefeweizen.
Right.
Yeah, when you first opened, you had
that.
Yeah.
I believe it was at, if I recall, it was at the one of the festivals up at Crystal Springs. We were pouring next to each other, and you had brought a small like pilot batch that you brewed of basically what turned into Elder Magic, and we were drinking that day.
And it had the wonderful name of Elder Lemon Weizen.
That's what it was.
At the time. That's Elder right. Lemon Weizen, which is the worst name I think we could have ever.
That's a mouthful, yeah.
It was a great beer, though. So.
It was our first shot at brewing it. I mean, you literally had. I remember that festival. That was the first time we premiered that beer, and once the word got out that we had that on as a keg, it was gone. I mean, it was gone in probably an hour.
Oh, yeah.
But
I think you and me drank probably half of it, though. So
yeah, well, I drank the other half. It was good. But then it came out as we decided to can it. We named it Strange Magic because I went to an ELO concert.
I was going to say, please tell me that was named after ELO. That's my favorite band.
It came in and Fat Guys they have a Strange Magic. It's not a Hefeweizen or elderberry, but they were in the process of doing a trademark and asked us if we wouldn't mind changing the name so they could complete their application, and we did. So now it's called Elder Magic. It's in the same vein. Can design's the same. We just took the word strange out and put elder on it. So
there you go.
But that's what happens. I mean, there's so many names of beers out there. We search and search. You try not to duplicate or copy, or you look up trademarks, but it's hard.
You got to, on that label, put like a little elderberry that looks like a O right after the E and the L at the beginning.
Oh, that'd be great.
So people kind of like, hey, wait a second.
That's a great idea.
There's like 5 of us are going to get that.
Or put the
will.
Put the elderberry behind the D, so it almost makes the D look like an O. And
that's what we're talking about here. Yep.
There you go. Perfect. I like that.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw them in concert at the Prudential Center, and man, I came home the next day. It was literally, okay, we got a problem with the name. Strange Magic it is.
Strange Magic. Done.
That's crazy. That's how we come up with some names.
That's great. I love coming up with beer names. It's always fun. Always fun.
It's tough.
Whatchamacallit? Why don't we pour our second beers?
Pour our second beers. You know what I forgot to mention, John?
What did you forget to mention there, Dave?
We were talking about National Mutt Day. We forgot that there's 2. See, we do these on Wednesdays, and I think it was the second one. I didn't even know the first one he tells me to say hi, Beer Samurai. So I did this stupid dad joke, hi, Beer Samurai. And then after that, I'm like, well, what am I going to say? So I'm really into like all these stupid observations, these days.
Yes, he is.
I make a calendar with like 5 or 6 on every single day for every single month. Every month I do this, and so that's how I introduce myself. I say hi. Today was National Nut Day, but it's always Wednesday, so we missed out on some days.
Yep.
And John mentioned that this Friday is going to be, and it's the first Friday of every December, Bartender Appreciation Month Day.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
And so it's tip your bartenders. Always tip the wait staff. Try the veal. I'm here every Thursday. But this because they need these tips. Because they work. They work so much on tips, and the holiday season's coming. So this is what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. But the important one, the day after, every December 5th, right? Mm-hmm. It's Repeal Day.
Yeah. Okay.
Prohibition Repeal Day, December 5th in 1933. That was
and that 33 is important.
That 33 is important. Keep that in the back of your mind while we pour our beers. So there you go.
Well, because the beers are a segue into the threes.
Beers are a segue into the threes, 33s. There you go.
You want me to go first or you going first? I've already opened mine, but
I'll go first. I am drinking one of my faves. It is this year's Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Anchor Brewing. I have done verticals in the past, and aging these beers is always fun to do because most of them wind up opening up and becoming even more complex than they are when they're fresh. But this one, I've had one already. This is the second one of the 6-pack, and it's pretty damn good. So I'm gonna pour it right now.
And I'm gonna test John's theory there because I'm gonna open where's my camera? This is the 2017
look at that
version of it.
And wait, keep it up there. Notice the labels are always different.
Trees always change.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool.
The recipe always changes. The tree always changes.
There you go.
That's pretty cool.
Actually, some of the earlier ones, were a little similar because I'm actually going to pour it into a 1994 glass. So you can see it was just a classic Christmas tree on it. Because the true name of the beer is the Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yeah, it's not Anchor Christmas Ale. It's Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. It was our special ale or something like that, right?
When it first started, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's our special ale. It's actually written at the top of the label.
It's still on there?
Oh, yeah.
Our special ale. There we go. Trying to get it in frame there. Alrighty. So, I'll take a sip of mine first. Well, before we actually do, Chuck, what are you drinking?
I'm going to pull out a little something here. Young Lion Brewing Company. They're up in New York State.
Okay.
Dave, our cellarman, was up there a couple weeks ago, and brought me back. This is called Gift Moose.
I thought that's what that said. Gift Moose. Never look a Gift Moose in the mouth.
This is a double New England style IPA.
Okay.
It's been in the back. It is a look at me with my progressive. I still can't read it. 8%
okay.
ABV, 45 on the IBUs.
Young Lion.
Yeah, Young Lion. This is the fun part is when the team goes out to visit breweries, they typically will bring back a can, throw it on my shelf in the back, and opportunities like this come up where I can crack them and taste them. So let's give this a little pour. I'm going to pour this in my heavy reel glass.
Look at that.
Shout
heavy
out
real
to my
glass.
buddy.
Seaside, right?
Yep.
Yeah, these guys are down.
About 10 minutes from me.
Fantastic brewery.
15.
Love what they do down there.
Not as much in the winter.
20.
Summertime, about an hour and 20, right?
Oh, yeah, please.
Beautiful.
That's a pretty beer.
Yeah, it's a
that
nice,
is really nice.
head on that for a New England double. New
I'm
England.
loving the hooks on the glass. That is
cool.
really,
Yeah.
I'm loving that.
Look at that front and back. He did a great job with the design on this for sure.
Yeah, I'm liking
It's got
that.
the. I don't think you could see it, but a little bit here. It's got the gold edge on it, like your glass.
Oh, yeah. I can see
Yeah.
it.
It's the details. I think the details that go into some of this glassware is pretty cool.
That was the fisheye view of a party boat, right?
Yeah, this is Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, you're right. What do we do? Hang that. We put it on camera. We'll put it right up here like this. There you
There
go.
you go.
Nice. There you go.
Fish eye view. Yeah, I love the color on this. Nice nose.
So I'll take a sip, shall we?
Yeah, dig in, guys. I'm already neat.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that beer's nice.
This one I'm getting getting the notes of age. You know, I kind of get that leather in the nose when there's some age to it.
And a little bit of leather.
Yep, and in the taste as well, a little bit of the the oxidized, a little bit of penny. And I think but the herbs and spices are still there. They're still kicking. The malts are still strong.
Gotcha.
It's held up. It's held up pretty well for a 3-year-old beer.
Most of them held up well. I actually did a vertical once. It was a 95 through 2013 vertical.
Well,
we did it in 2013
and
was new.
I told John I've got I'm sitting on a 2011 through 2018 right now. I actually missed last year because this was going and I was moving at the time and missed a lot of stuff. So the vertical will be 2011 through 2018 when I get around to it.
But the 1995 through 2013 we did. The best of those was at 18 beers. The best of those beers was actually 19 beers. The best of those beers was actually 98. So it was a 15-year-old beer. It was the best of the 19 beers we did. 18 beers we did, yeah. It was crazy.
It's amazing it held up for that long.
It held up that long. We took a picture. We put it on Twitter and everything else, and like within seconds, Anchor actually commented back, "Where the hell did you get all those beers from?"
I saved them.
Yeah, so it was great. But how's the Double New England?
I'm enjoying it. I think it's great.
Is it?
The nose is fantastic on it. The flavor is good. Hops are fresh.
What is the hop profile on that?
It's got at a 45 IBU, it's not as bitter, as a West Coast style IPA for sure. I'm just trying to read. I was going to start reading this, and then we got to talking. It says raw wheat, rice, oats, grain bill. Let's say Mandarina Bavaria.
Okay.
And double dry hop with Sabro Simcoe powder. So the powder is really what's giving me that hop bite character for it.
Sabro and Simcoe.
Yeah, and Simcoe.
Nice.
Loaded with pineapple and orange flavor and aroma. I'm not sure you loaded up the aroma, but
so pine and coconut in the powder.
Yeah, pineapple and orange flavor. They say.
Don't say anything about coconut, though. Are you getting coconut out of it, Chuck?
No, did I say coconut?
Sabro. I did. Sabro usually throws coconut. That's why
I didn't. Mention that. I'm not really getting that. I'm getting a lot more of the Simcoe for sure. It's a tasty one.
Nice, good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's use this to trail into our segment of 33s. As we said, Prohibition Repeal Day is December 5th every year, and it's December 5th, 1933 was the repeal day of Prohibition, and we honor that by doing a segment called 33s. It's our top threes, our top three list. We originally wanted to do, I'm just telling Chuck at this point, we originally wanted to do top 10s, and we figured we'd just take way too long. And top 5s would probably be much
and we'd
too.
argue too much.
Absolutely. So we would have to start them at the beginning of the show and just have that be the show. So, but we do top threes, and we'll go around and each give our top threes. This week is holiday beers, top 3 holiday beers. Who wants to go first?
Holiday beers.
Top 3.
Let's give Chuck some time to think, because you and I have known this for a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, God, that was I can name my top 3 beers. I don't think I have 3
holiday beers.
Holiday beers.
Gotcha.
Thematically holiday.
I mean, it could just be releases that come out around the holiday. It doesn't necessarily have to be, spiced or winter warmers or anything like that. So, one of mine isn't. So.
Are you looking for this holiday or any?
We know what your number one is.
Holidays. The November, December releases.
Nice. Okay.
So, Dave, why don't you go
first? Guys go first. Let me mull this over because
mull it over.
I'm just thinking like Mad Elf. I'm thinking things like that. But
Sure. Mull it over. Dave, you go first. You started off. I started last week. You start this.
Well, we'll go with just for the classic. Here's my number 3 right there. It has been when the concept of holiday beers first came out. This was one of the first. This Harpoon's Winter Warmer. Mm-hmm. These were the first 2 that you traveled across the state. I mean, I'd go up to Clifton to get holiday beers. And I was living in Jackson at the time, mm-hmm. Or at Rutgers, and I'd travel for these to find them. And Anchor and Harpoon were 2 that I always look for. So, Anchor's probably representing both of them right now.
Well, both winter warmers, so
they're both winter warmers. So, number 2, I've got to go to I got to go over to Belgium. Saint Bernardist.
I was going to say, is that the name of the beer?
Yes.
How do you spell that?
that's in Flemish. So I couldn't help that pun.
That's that one. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's awful. But St. Bernardus Christmas Ale, that's such a great beer.
St. Bernardus is nice.
That's a great one. And my number 1, and I got to go to my grandfather's home state for my number 1. And I'm sitting on one, and I'll probably drink it on one of the shows closer to Christmas. Sure. Prairie's Christmas Bomb.
That is a tasty beer.
Oh, big, sticky and sweet. Oh man, I love that beer. So we'll sit that maybe on the 16th or the 23rd. I'm not sure which show I'll be drinking that one on.
There you go. Very nice. Very nice. Well, I'll give you mine. I'm going to give you mine in no particular order, even though number 1 is going to be number 1. So number 2 and 3 are in no particular order. How's that?
There we go.
All right. And believe me, this is hard because there's a lot of really, really good holiday beers out there, and I enjoy many of them. I really do.
On a nightly basis.
Yeah, exactly. In May. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, number 2 and 3 in no particular order. Nice Schoof. From
that is a great beer.
Nice, it's a winter warmer. Nice
you went Belgium too.
Belgium, yeah. Nice Schoof is such a good beer. If you've never had it, get it. I please get it. It's such a good beer. Nice Schoof is it's a winter warmer. It's about 8% ish, maybe even up to 10. It's between 8 and 10, somewhere in there. But it's such a good winter warmer. It's so well done. It's crazy. The other one that's either 2 or 3. I'm going to stay in Belgium. I'm going to say Scaldis Noel. It's crazy tasty, and and niche if you can find. Scaldis Noel is very difficult, but if you look a lot for it, you can nail it down a little bit. It's really good.
We can throw an honorable mention in there for if you're sticking with Belgium, Fantomes Yves.
Oh sure, absolutely. There's just so many good ones.
Another one hard to find, but
Corsendonk. Just straight up, Corsendonk Christmas is delicious.
Yep.
But my number 1 holiday beer, and I
said
it before on the show, Sierra Nevada Celebration Ale.
To be at least the 4th time I think it's gotten a mention on the show.
My God.
He drank it on the last show.
I drank it last week on the show. It's my absolute favorite holiday release. And again, it's an IPA. it's a fresh hop IPA. But it's so good. It's insane. So,
and I'm sorry. I think and I love Celebration, but when I think of Christmas, I really just don't think of IPAs.
Mm-hmm. I don't either.
But that's me.
But I drink it. But you know what? There's just so many out there. So I mean, it can be numbers. Honestly, numbers 4 through 10 are so damn close to numbers 2 and 3. Or even 1 for that matter. It
gets close.
Yeah. It gets close. So
yeah.
Did you have enough time there, Chuck?
I did. I mean, I like Troegs Mad Elf. I said it before.
Sure.
It's kind of one of those beers that comes out every year that I enjoy drinking. It's kind of in that same ballpark as like Pumpkin at October. I don't like a lot of pumpkin beers. I think that's pretty well known, but that one for me stands out as just a great seasonal beer for that season. But definitely, Mad Elf. I think if I think locally, I think Ramstein puts out a winter wheat.
They do. That's a good beer.
Around this time of the year that I've had in the past. You're just kind of thinking about what comes out this time of the year. I think that's a really solid beer that I can really enjoy drinking.
Yeah, Yeah, Greg's winter wheat is really tasty.
Yeah, it is, and
It is.
he does just a great job with beers up there. I think that it's. I haven't been up there probably in a little while, but yeah, he's doing some. He's always done great beer up there.
To the industrial complex.
What's that?
To the
To the
industrial
industrial complex.
Yeah, the guy that does a lot of our welding has his machine shop over there. Is right across from the brewery. So anytime,
Yeah, there is a machine shop over there. Yeah.
What's that?
There is a machine shop right across. Yeah.
Yeah, right on the diagonal from him is where he is. And a great guy, but when I go there, I tend to stop in and say hi. But it's like an excuse to go. They're like, oh, I got to go get this welded. Let me go visit Ramstein.
Let me go visit Greg for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, go say hi to Greg. And I struggle for another one. I mean, I don't do a lot of the seasonal like holiday stuff, but those two come to mind. Is that okay to do too?
No,
I could name a third. But.
Well, John and I mentioned between us about 8. So
we mentioned about 8.
Yeah,
and
we picked up this.
And I'll be honest with you,
guys pick up the slack. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Easily within the 4 through 10 of mine would be Greg's Winter Wheat and Mad Elf as well. You know, some others would be like Southern Tier 2 Xmas is always tasty. It's actually it's a glog. That's the style of beer. It's a glog. Yeah.
It's funny. I'm one of the few people that does not particularly enjoy Mad Elf.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it
no. It's the heat behind it. To me, it's just cherry flavored rocket fuel.
It is a hot beer, but it is tasty though. It is pretty damn tasty.
I'll mention that I do like Jersey Girls. They call it the Nog. The owner brews that one personally. He just brewed it on Sunday. It's going to be a Christmas release, and it's an imperial cream ale, and it's called the Nog because it's an imperial cream ale that tastes like eggnog. In the end, it's a fantastic beer.
Well, I mean, if you ask me what my favorite holiday drink is, not beer, drink is, I'd have to say eggnog. So it looks like I'm going to be having to make a trip up.
You'll have to make a trip.
Make a trip up. And I wonder if there's any way, I mean, do I know anybody that lives nearby?
You might know somebody who could come by, drive maybe half a mile down the road and pick it up for you. Make sure you get some.
Yeah, she might.
But it's our fun seasonal release. I do it every year. I've done it for the last 3 years. I get out. We have a tippy system out back. It's 27 gallons. And I just actually brewed that on Sunday, so I'll throw that one out there. It'll be out right before the weekend before Christmas, and it's fermenting away beautifully.
You will see me the weekend before Christmas. We have to come up and visit the nephews anyway.
There you go.
So
make a stop in and say hi.
I'll drop Jess off at the house and I'll be over.
Yeah, and it's perfectly acceptable to mention your own beers on those.
I hope so.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking of all these seasonal beers. I'm racking my brain here. I'm like, oh, God, I didn't even look at my own.
Well, considering with Augie, we did top 3 carton beers.
We did top 3 carton
right up first.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that's an easy.
Well,
list.
I mean, I can tell you right now, my top 3 Jersey Girl beers, right. I can rattle them right off. Is Rake Breaker, Black Diamond, and Elder Magic.
King. And not the King, huh?
King is a damn close. I mean, you can give me 3A and 3B.
There you go.
On the sports show, we do top 10 lists, but we rate them. We'll come up with our list. Tonight is linebackers. Chuck, I know you've watched the show. Nice. Tonight's linebackers, top 10 linebackers in NFL history.
Nice.
Do I get a say in that?
You can comment in. You usually do, but both of you usually do. That's the point.
That's okay.
So, but in any event, we usually sometimes there's a tie, and we don't try and break the ties. We just leave them in there. So lately we've been having like a 10A and a 10B. Tonight we actually have a 9A and B and a 4A and B. So we actually have 12 linebackers in our top 10. So,
wow.
So.
Well, I already know my top 2. That's easy.
Okay, your top 2. Let's see if they're. I'm not going to tell you if they're our top 2, but let's hear yours.
But we're
going into linebackers now.
I always put LT as number 1.
Oh, you got to.
He changed the game. Actually, I can give you my top 3. Buckus, because he changed the game as well. Mm-hmm. The best inside linebacker ever to play the game.
Playing and Chicago, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And one of the smartest, undersized, best linebackers ever was Singletary. Those are my top 3.
Chicago, right? There you go.
Well, yep. I'm going to tell you now. Those three are in. I'll tell you this. Those three are in the top 10. I'm not going to tell you where they are, although you could probably guess where one of them is.
Yeah, that's the number one is hard to argue.
So
yeah,
just
it's hard. It's hard when you look at Lawrence Taylor and you look at what he did as a linebacker, and you look at Dick Butkus for sure. Chicago had a great season, early 70s football, completely different football game than you play today. If you talk about current guys, because Singletary kind of falls there in the middle with the Super Bowl Chicago Bears and that whole debacle called the Super Bowl Shuffle. But
hey, we won the next year. We won the next year.
That's true.
We won the next year. So.
It is true. The Giants came in the next year and kicked ass.
We only lost one more game than Chicago lost the year before. So,
but more recently, you can't leave Ray Lewis off that list. When you look at the Ravens, you look at him as a linebacker. Talk about a powerhouse, not only as a player, but as a leader on the team. I mean, he just dominated defense when he was out there. He'd pump those guys up like crazy.
Sure.
And in between those, you had Derek Thomas.
Yeah, Kansas City.
Well,
yeah,
sure.
I'll throw those up as well. All of them may be on the list too. I'm just not going to tell you where they fall on the list. You'll have to tune in and pay attention. So,
if I open my next beer, it may be hard to pay attention.
So don't.
It might make the comments more interesting.
It could make the comments more interesting. We actually have a comment. I think it'll pop up. Yeah, there we go. It's actually a comment on our YouTube channel, not on Facebook. We go live every Wednesday night with both the Craft Beer and the Sports Podcast. Craft Beer at 5:30, Sports at 7, on both Facebook Live and YouTube Live. This is a comment from YouTube. Lar Janis. I'm assuming he's over in Scotland because Lar Janis says, I love IPA, and he also says, my favorite Brewdog's Punk IPA. No idea if it's sold in America.
Sold in America. It's sold in a hotel.
Sold everywhere in America, Lar.
It comes out of the shower heads at that hotel.
There you go. Yes. So, Lar, come to the States, and feel free to comment on our podcast every Wednesday night.
Thanks for watching, Lar.
Absolutely. But yeah, there's plenty of Brewdog Punk IPA in America. You will not go wrong. So there you go. But I just want to get that comment up there. But yeah, no, the Sports Podcast is always fun, and we're doing that in about a half an hour.
Nice.
So, but yeah, these I'm really looking forward. I mean, you've made me excited for the weekend before Christmas, and I'm not blowing smoke by any means. I'm definitely coming up to see you. I have to get that eggnog beer.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's an Imperial Cream Ale, so the base is fantastic. It's a lot of oats. I doubled up on the oats, and I put flaked corn in it. So the mouthfeel on it's phenomenal. And then you get the nice spices. I put cloves in it, nutmeg, cinnamon, of course, to give it that nog kind of flavor. Mm-hmm. And then in the fermentation tank, I'm going to drop a few more things, little surprises in there.
Some interesting little tasty things.
You should bourbon barrel age that to make it a true Kentucky eggnog.
Yeah, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised when you get here. What I've kind of figured out over the years of the spirals and things like that. What kind of
there we go.
See, you're not messing with somebody that doesn't know what he's doing. Right?
I got some tricks up my sleeve.
There you go.
5 years of this, I got it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So I did open my third beer. Sorry, I had to go 2018.
You went to 2018. See, it's another different label. Look at that. See, Dave, by the way, Dave drinks fast. I just want to let you know.
I do. I drink very, very fast. So you see, we've got a totally different.
Already. Let me get another glass. I'm glad, as a brewery owner, I have a ton of glasses at my desk.
There you go.
Beers in the cooler, glasses at the desk.
Nice.
Glasses on our faces.
Glasses everywhere.
Yep.
Very nice.
So, John, what's your 30? You already on your 30?
We usually don't do 3.
We don't do 3. So
sometimes I do. Sometimes I do.
Sometimes Dave does because he's thirsty. But feel free to pour it. I'll talk while you guys pour. I normally grab another beer because if I bring 2, because I do my podcast from my office upstairs, and the fridge is downstairs. So if I grab 3, one's going to get a little too warm, depending on the style, obviously. But I bring the
And-
two up. So what I do is I normally
the sportscast so much more fun.
yeah, but I normally go downstairs and I pick up another
Wow.
pick out another beer for to drink during the sports podcast, which lately have been running a lot longer than the than the
That's
craft
because
beer
you're doing
ones.
this one first and you're drinking 3 beers.
Exactly.
I gotta say
Exactly.
something. This 2018 is so different from the 2017. It's not showing. Obviously, it's a year younger, so it's not showing as much age.
Mhm.
But I mean, I think they've got to have orange peel and spruce tips in this thing.
They
It
probably
is-
do. They change the recipe every year. It's not exactly the same recipe every year. It's not major modifications, but there's definitely differences in every single batch of that beer.
But there's definitely some sort of evergreen in here, and right off the nose, I was getting orange peel. So
Well, then there's
big difference between 2017 and
orange peel
2018.
and spruce tips. There you go. You just called
Spruce
it.
tips
There.
are awesome. We did an
Yeah.
orange peel. We did a Madagascar vanilla porter with orange peel in it
Nice.
a couple years ago.
Oof,
Really
nice.
And John, I'm still keeping an eye on Tilted Barn to see when they release that holiday beer.
When they release it, make sure you get enough of it. That's all.
Yeah, I will bring you some. They use spruce tips from their own tree farm,
Okay.
and the barn is open. The new barn's open.
I did see that online. Tilted Barn is in was it North Kingston?
Exeter.
It's in Exeter. It's right near. North
It's
Kingston.
right on the border of North Kingston and Exeter, but I'm pretty certain they're Exeter.
Yeah, it's a great. Went up there not too long after they first opened. Chuck, I don't know if have you heard of Tilted Barn?
No, I
Yeah,
haven't.
it's in Exeter, Rhode Island. Just
Okay.
now went up there. It's Have you been to Hill Farmstead?
Yeah.
Okay, the dirt road that leads in a mile to the farm or whatever. It's kind of the same thing at the Tilted Barn.
Wow,
Tilted
that's
Barn.
With the bomb craters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Oh, great.
it's crazy, and they it's just weird, not weird, wild the way it's in there. But it's a tree. It was a tree farm. It was a Christmas tree farm.
No, it still is.
It still is. I'm just saying
still
it
is.
just was a Christmas tree farm.
If you go and buy beer there in December,
Uh-huh.
the parking lot is absolutely full with people buying. Some
Trees.
people buying trees. So you got mom and the kids are off buying trees. Dad's getting
That's
tanked
getting
at the brewery.
The brewery,
Oh.
yeah.
That's
drinking
awesome.
drinking with the asses, and I mean literal asses. They've got donkeys. I'm not kidding. They've got
So.
donkeys. It's a fantastic place, but it's called Tilted Barn for a reason because the brewery was in an old barn, and there's an upper level, and the thing is a little tilted. But they just opened a
I've
new
walked in it.
facility.
I can attest to the fact that it is tilted.
A little tilted.
Leaning a little bit. Yeah.
It's leaning a little bit, but the new facility, from the pictures I've seen and the comments I've heard, is absolutely beautiful. To get a reservation there, you have to be at least 2 people, and whereas COVID is making me close to 2 people, I don't count that way. I gotta tell, I drink as much as 2 people do,
Sure.
There you go.
There you
but
go.
I
As long
still
as, you,
can't.
as long as you pay your tab, I'm sure they'll let you in, right? Drink the beers, pay your tab.
Well, hopefully
It sounds like a really nice place. It sounds
It's
like a
re-
lot of fun.
it's really cool.
There's
It's really cool.
there's a yellow lab and a black lab that runs around the place, and they've got 2 beers named after them.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so
What, okay, I don't want to put you on the spot. What are the names? Oh, I knew. I knew.
I mean, on that one, and
He
the thing
just
is,
knew the fact that
I
the
wanted to
beers
take
were
that
named
one.
after them.
there was a point that I knew this because I've had both the beers. Oh, but one's the porter, the other's a pale ale.
That's
I'm
okay.
going to go look it up. See, Johnny's looking it up too. So we
Yeah.
really need a John. We need a fact checker for us.
Yes.
We need someone on the sidelines there that is going to look stuff up for us when we can't remember stuff.
Tupelo and Summit.
There you go.
Oh, there you go, guys.
There you go.
Fast.
So Summit obviously is the pale ale.
No, no, it's it's a black lab, so I'm assuming that's not.
No. Summit's the pale ale.
Summit's the pale ale, yeah.
Yeah,
I was
Tupelo,
gonna
I
say-
believe, is the porter.
Tupelo's the porter, and I only know that because you actually gave me one. So, and it was
Yes.
a porter's.
There you go. That sounds like a great place. We went Christmas tree shop. We went to get our Christmas trees for the brewery last Saturday. Yes, I think it was Saturday. We drank a lot. We were in the parking lot. We had a table. It was a group of about 6 families, and we had a table with wines and beers and cheese and vodkas and juices. It was an event. People would walk by and go, "What the hell's going on over there?" And we're like, this is Christmas tree shopping day, man. This is
Absolutely.
how
It is.
And,
It's a religion. It's crazy.
you're there for a few hours. I mean,
Absolutely.
you're there definitely for like 4 hours of drinking, and then the tree selection is a quick process.
Absolutely.
Like, okay, we're done.
And Chuck, when this is all over and we can all travel freely, you got to come up to Rhode Island, tour you around the breweries here.
Yeah.
I'd love to. I'll make a trip out of that. That's for sure. I've not been out to Rhode Island breweries. I got to be honest with you. No, let me take that back. Who did we go to? Because we went up and did
Proclamation
beer festival. It was the home.
That's Newport Craft runs the beer festival.
It was a homebrewers conference, the World Homebrew.
Oh, okay.
We did that up there, but I think we drove through to go to Connecticut. I think it was just in Connecticut. God, it was a couple of years ago, but I'm feeling like the names of the dog kind of situation.
Yeah.
Don't bring it up if you can't
So
finish
you went
the
to Tupelo and Summit. Does that help you out a little
We
bit?
went to Tupelo and Summit. Yeah.
So the Rhode Island brewery that's closest to Connecticut would be Gray Sale.
Gray Sale's right over the border. Yeah, it's like right there.
That was like, I got to go back.
Southern Connecticut, right over into southern.
Right
Rhode
across
Island.
the river in
It's
Connecticut
right.
is Cottrell Brewing.
Yeah.
It sits right on the river, across the river from Westerly, where
I just remember I was driving home with Vito. Vito is he works for the brewery. We had gone out. We stayed overnight. We were driving back the next day, and we didn't realize how much traffic there was, but it was just god awful.
Connecticut is a parking lot.
Yeah,
95 is awful.
It's a parking lot.
It was like, Vito, find us the closest brewery, and we're just making the next turn, and we're gonna drive to it. So there happened to be one like right off the 95 there, but
Nice.
yeah, but
In Connecticut, or
I think it was Connecticut. I think we were still in Connecticut at the time, but I'll find out. I'll give it to John. But
yeah, find out and let me know.
we had a good time.
Anybody's interested.
It was a nice visit. But.
So yeah, definitely when this is all done, we'll I'll even take a ride up. We'll make a lager room weekend of it or whatever.
That'd be great.
We'll have Mr. Samurai tour us around.
well, we'll have to do a special edition podcast.
Absolutely.
From each location, we'll just travel around each
we'll
location.
actually absolutely.
We'll get a designated driver.
We'll do. It can't be.
I have an 18-year-old son who could drive our
Done.
Done.
Oh no! Or we can get Brian's son. We can pay him.
That's not going to happen. He's over 21,
and he's a drinker.
and
now,
my son's too close to 21, so he's not. That's not going to happen either. So, but in any event,
We'll figure out the logistics later. But I think the concept. I think we all agree it's a great concept.
Oh,
it's an absolutely great concept. We'll go live from each. We'll go live from each brewery, and then I'll piece it together and we'll make one podcast out of it. I'm fine with that. That'd be perfect.
There we go.
Love
That's
it.
a great idea.
All right. Well, that'll wrap the show up for today. I want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you that just want to listen to the audio podcast, or just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. And remember, we go live with the video on both Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday at 5:30. And for those of you that just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, and Stitcher. And for those of you that have not done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you'll never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the holiday season as it is upon us, every minute of it if you can. And, be safe with everything you do. And take care, guys. Cheers.
Cheers. Chuck, thanks.
Yeah,
thanks for joining us.
Thank you. That was my next thing out of my mouth. Thank you very much for joining us, Chuck. We want to thank Chuck for joining us today. And
Cheers,
make sure you take a look for those Jersey Girl beers we talked about. And if you're anywhere near Hackettstown, stop in the weekend of before Christmas and try some of that eggnog beer.
But leave some for Johnny.
Leave some for me. And if I'm there, we'll chat. All right.
Cool.
And there's no way we can get Dave down, but if we can, he'll be there as well.
I will probably make it down in January.
So Dave will not be there.
No, you know what December means to me. That's my busy season.
Absolutely. Crazy
Sucks
busy.
when you work back end retail.
That's it. That's it.
Anyway. All right.
Well, thanks again. Really appreciate the
You
the
got
time
it.
tonight.
Absolutely. Chuck, thanks for joining us. And in the future, want to have you back on again. This was
I'd love
fun.
to. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got it. All right, guys. Cheers.
All
We'll
right.
talk to you soon.
Cheers. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye, folks.